Our spelling list this week has contractions. So remember, a contraction is when we take two words, we mush them together and take out a letter to make it one word. Sometimes it can even be more than one letter. Most of them this week are going to just be taking out one letter, and we replace it with an apostrophe. That's important to remember. All right, so let's start with the word your. Your. Write it down on your paper. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so your stands for two words, you are, and we're going to take out the A and replace it with an apostrophe. Check your work and make sure that you have you are, replace the A with an apostrophe. Next is the word we're. We're, like we're going to go to the store today. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, we're stands for the words we are. We are. And we are going to take out the A and we're going to replace it with an apostrophe. We are, replace the A with an apostrophe. Check your work. Next is the word they're. They're. As in they're going to go to the store tomorrow. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, there stands for the words they are, and we're going to take out the A and replace it with an apostrophe. Check your work. If your words don't have apostrophes, they're not going to be counted as correct. They must have the apostrophe in place of the letter. Okay, next is the word you'll. You'll. Like you'll have a birthday next month. 3, 2, 1, and 0. You'll stands for the two words, you will. You see, we mushed those two words together, and here we took out two letters. We took out the W and the I, but we replaced it with just one apostrophe. You'll stands for you will. Check your work. Next is the word we'll. We'll, like we'll celebrate with a party. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Check your work. This stands for we will. Just like with you'll, we took out the W and I in the word will, replaced it with an apostrophe. Now this looks like the word well, but make sure when you bring me your paper, it doesn't say well. It doesn't say well if there's an apostrophe up here. We have to pronounce it wheel. If it doesn't have an apostrophe, it just says well, so make sure you're careful with that. All right, next is the word she'll. She'll, like she'll come and bring a present. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, this stands for the words she will. Just like with the other two, we took out the W and I and replaced it with an apostrophe. Now remember, if you don't have that apostrophe, it just says the word shall. That's not what we want. We want the word she'll. You have to have the apostrophe. All right, next is the word would've. Would've. Like she would have liked for her best friend to come, but she couldn't make it that day. Would've. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay, would've stands for the two words would have. Would have. And here, again, we took out two letters, the H and the A, and replaced it with an apostrophe. Let me make that a little bigger. So we have the whole word would. Remember the O, you lazy dog. Replace the H and A with an apostrophe, V-E, would've. Check your work, make sure you have the apostrophe. All right, next is the word should've. Should've, like it should have rained yesterday, but it didn't. Should've. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay, this also stands for the words should have, should have. So check your work. We took out the H and A, replaced it with an apostrophe. Make sure you have sh, make sure you have that SH. And you have oh, you lazy dog. Replace the HA with an apostrophe and VE. Check your work. Next is the word shouldn't. Shouldn't. Like you shouldn't you shouldn't skip your homework today. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Shouldn't stands for the words should not. And remember, we've worked with this one before where that apostrophe is replacing the O. Make sure you have the sh, sh, and you have O, you lazy dog. All right, next is the word o'clock. O'clock, like we go home or we pack up at 3 o'clock. Go ahead and write o'clock. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Now this is an interesting one because that apostrophe is actually replacing a lot of letters because o'clock stands for of the clock. So it would stand for of the clock. And we see the word clock there and we see O, but it's replacing the F and the whole word the, which is pretty crazy. So make sure you have your apostrophe there replacing all of those letters, o'clock. And make sure you have that CK there. See if you can remember why we use a CK in this word. You should have said we use a CK in this word because it's coming after a short vowel sound. And we use our long spelling after short vowel sound, CK. All right, next is the word doesn't. Doesn't. Like, doesn't it look cloudy outside today? 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, doesn't stands for the words does not. That's pretty easy. The nt was one we're familiar with already. The apostrophe is replacing the O. But I want you to look at this word does. This is one I see a lot of friends misspell. So this is a really important one for us to practice this week. Does. This is making an sound. So this is the schwa sound happening here. And we're spelling that schwa sound with O-E. It looks like it should say does, right? Because there's 2 vowels, but it's actually just saying the sound. So that's the hard part that we have to remember. Does has O-E in it. Make sure you've spelled it with O-E. And you've replaced that O with an apostrophe. On your paper today, you're going to write these words at the top. Hopefully you've already done that. And then you're going to write these contractions. You're going to separate them into their 2 words. Make sure you spell both words fully, because I want to see that you know when you have a contraction what the 2 words are that it stands for.